my favorite designer releases from the last 5+ years. If you're interested in finding out what those fragrances are, please stay tuned. I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get right into it. First up, from the house of Robert Graham, this is Valor. If you're looking for a fragrance that is extremely masculine, versatile, aromatic, clean, this is a perfect fragrance. It got a little hype when it first came out. People don't talk about it a whole lot anymore. I think the thought is this fragrance has been discontinued, but it actually has not. It was never one that was found in a lot of the department stores, but I did run across it in one Von Mar a little while ago. But I know the fragrance can be found at robertgraham.com. Incredible fragrance. I love sage as a note, and sage, it's all about the sage for me with this fragrance. It's got other things going on. It's not an overly sweet fragrance. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even say this is a sweet fragrance. It's more aromatic than anything. But just think about a versatile signature scent type fragrance that smells masculine. I think this will work for a lot of guys. From the house of Robert Graham, Valor. A fragrance that truly was a slow burn for me. I didn't love it at first sniff, but it's grown on me immensely. From the house of Cartier, this is Limbal. I love this presentation. This is an incredibly sexy fragrance, and it's all about the honey and musk. I know honey as a note is not something that everybody loves, but trust me, this fragrance has got a definite sex appeal to it. You may think the fragrance is wearing light because it does have a light feel to it, but it's one of those sneaky fragrances where it will catch you off guard. And if you overspray, you might find yourself thinking like, wow, is this like too much? So I would say kind of be careful. You kind of got to wear this one to see how it reacts to your skin and how it performs. But a great fragrance that I think is very slept on and highly underrated, from the house of Cartier, Limbal. Next up is a fragrance that I've talked about ad nauseum on my channel. It's from the house of Zadig and Voltaire. This is him. I really believe this is one of the best designer releases in the last 5+ years. It's basically an incense, sandalwood, and vanilla fragrance, and I think it's amazing. I truly think this is an amazing fragrance, and one that you should get your nose on if you haven't done so yet. It's a little harder to find, but not impossible to find. All right, got to check this one out. From the house of Zadig and Voltaire, this is him. Another great release from the house of Cartier. This is Pasha, the Cartier Parfum version. Wow, very, very sexy, boozy sandalwood fragrance that can be found at a great price point on gray market. Man, bang for your buck, big time. If you've never smelled this fragrance, I highly recommend it. This has got that sexy sex appeal factor, and I think a lot of men would love this fragrance. It's got a slight sweetness to it, but it's not a sweet fragrance. It is a masculine fragrance, but that boozy accord is just so nice, and the sandalwood smells incredible. From the house of Cartier, Pasha, the Cartier Parfum. From the house of Issey Miyake, from the L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme line, this is Or Encens. I love this fragrance. This is an incredible release that can be a little harder to find, but is available. It just takes a little bit of searching and digging to get this one. Typically sits about 100 to 120 bucks. Amazing. It's just this really nice incense with a little rose in the background, a little sparkle in the opening. Incredible release. Don't be afraid of floral, guys. This one is still dark, mysterious, sexy. I think this would work for a lot of guys out there. All right. Again, from the house of Issey Miyake, this is Or Encens from the L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme line. From the house of Bottega Veneta, this is Pour Homme Parfum. This one is just a stunner. It is truly a masculine fragrance that kind of has classic touches, but it's modernized. Basically, just think of a pine, almost like pine fir, green smell mixed with leather. It's got other things happening, but that's primarily what you get. It smells very upscale. You can find this one. It's a little harder to find, but it can be found. I would suggest if you find it and you like that scent profile, get the bigger bottle, because I just feel like at some point this one is going to be totally discontinued. But incredible, classy, modern, masculine release that I think a lot of men would really enjoy. All right, Bottega Veneta Pour Homme Parfum. From the house of Costume National, this is Soul. Talked about this fragrance quite a bit also. This is simply like a sexy pink pepper, vanilla oud fragrance. And I wouldn't say oud, I'm going to say like more of a smoky wood, but amazing fragrance. Amazing fragrance that does make you stand out. It's got this mysterious vibe to it. It's not hard to find, but it's not easy to find. It's kind of right there in the middle on that scale of being able to locate a fragrance. It typically sits right around the $100 price point, but just an amazing fragrance that if you're looking for something that's going to make you stand out, that's a designer release, I highly recommend this one. All right, from the house of Costume National, this is Soul. Coming down the final stretch, this is a house that I never really feature on my channel, even though I do wear their fragrances. From the house of Jean Paul Gaultier, this is Le Male, and this fragrance is Le Male Parfum. Okay, I know a lot of their fragrances. I wore the original back in the day. I loved that one. It was pretty much basically like a lavender vanilla fragrance, and this one is different. It is basically a powdery leather with a little bit of spice. It's not this huge shouting fragrance, but it has good performance, and it smells mature without smelling old, and it is a fragrance for going out. It's an out on the town fragrance, and one that I think a lot of guys would really like. If you want something that is not juvenile smelling, very well put together, but very modern, very hip, this is a fragrance to check out from the house of Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Male Parfum. Last but not least, from the house of Brioni is Brioni EDP Intense. This was the best designer release in my humble opinion for 2021. It's a amazing fragrance. I would say think a juicy, crisp, fresh Michigan red apple. That's what you get with some spice. It's a perfect fragrance. It is a fragrance you can wear to formal events. You could wear it to work. You could even wear it to a date. If you know anything about the Brioni fragrances, they don't shout or scream. They are, I would say, moderately projecting fragrances that will last a good 6 to 7 hours. That's typically what I've gotten with their fragrances, but it just smells incredible. If you've never checked this one out, I highly recommend it. From the house of Brioni EDP Intense. Guys, that's my video. I thank you so much for taking the time out to hang with me. Until next time, I will talk to you soon. Peace.